Hello again and welcome back to the show where the builds are subjective and the points don't matter. Wait, no. This is the wrong show. Hello again and welcome back to the Heavy Hat. Today we're talking all about fun. Which means some of you are going to love this, some of you are probably going to hate it. But that's the interesting thing about fun. It's all subjective. As always, if there's a way you'd change this build, please post down below. I want to hear it. As always, like if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more. But let's get into it. Alright, here we go. First question as always is what gear do I run? And the answer to that is full Marauder's gear. Got full Marauder's armor, full Marauder's weapons, and full Marauder's accessories or trinkets or whatever you want to call everything. I run a superior rune of the Scholar. It's got some great power and ferocity. For my weapons, I run a main hand dagger, offhand pistol, and then for my second set, a greatsword. My sigils are the same because you have basically the same stats from all Marauder's gear. And the sigils I use are Superior Sigil of Force for 5% damage, and Superior Sigil of Accuracy for 7% critical chance. This brings you to 60.71% critical chance, and once you are fully buffed in a group and you have Fury, you are right at 100%, so works out pretty nice. Alright, as far as the build goes, I take Dueling, Domination, and Virtuoso. Under Dueling, we take Duelist Discipline, Blinding Dissipation, and Superiority Complex. Under Domination, we take Bountiful Blades, Egotism, and Mental Anguish. Then under Virtuoso, we take Jagged Mind, Phantasmal Blade, and Bloodsong. For Duelist Discipline, it causes all of your pistol skills to bleed, which we get to later. There's a reason for this. It causes a little bit more survivability. If you want to sacrifice a little survivability for a little bit more DPS, you're going to want to switch it for Phantasmal Fury. We have Blinding Dissipation, which causes your Shatter skill 2 to inflict blindness. Superiority Complex essentially just causes all your critical hits to deal a lot more damage depending on the scenario. Under Domination, we have Bountiful Blades, which improves your greatsword skills. We got Egotism, which basically just means you do 10% more damage to people with lower health than you, so do your best to stay alive and you'll do more damage. And we take Mental Anguish, which your Shatter skills just do more damage. Under Virtuoso, we take Jagged Mind, which means blade attacks inflict bleeding on critical hits. A percentage of your condition damage dealt heals you. So, not only does this cause a little bit more bleeding damage, even though this is a power build, because of Duelist Discipline, you get a little bit of bleeding from your pistol, a little bit of bleeding from your blades, and ultimately, it continuously heals you, because you're going to be using all of these a lot. Again, if you want a little bit more DPS, a little bit less survivability, switch it up to Mental Focus, and you're going to stand close to people, because it causes more damage if you get real close to everybody. But, for those of you that haven't played Mesmer, Mesmers are a little squishy, so I prefer to stay a little far away if I can. Take Phantasmal Blade, which shoots a blade at the Phantasm's current target. And I take Bloodsong. For bleeding you apply, deals increased damage, and you stack a blade after applying enough stacks to bleeding. Basically what I found with this build is you get so many blades so quick, it's almost hard to use them all. Which brings me to my next point. If you are new to Virtuoso, your Shatter skills are replaced with blades. And your clones are replaced with these all sharp, shiny boys up here. And you totally don't ever look threatening at all times staring at people. Yeah. I can get really deep into all these, but long story short, F1's going to do the most damage. You're going to want to prioritize that one. Then we've got F2, which is going to do the second most damage. And the reason I bring this up is because occasionally you'll have 5 blades, and F1 will still be on a long cooldown. So you're going to pop F2, and then prioritize F1 still. F3 is a really good Defiance break, so make sure you're using that if you need to CC. And F4 is basically a block. Prioritize that last unless it's like, oh my gosh, I need to live. Then obviously you're going to want to use it. What I like about this build is both your 5s on both weapon sets are your Defiance break. So, author's note. You have 1, 2, 3 Defiance breaks. You're primarily a DPS. I don't want to hear an excuse like your CCs are on cooldown. You shouldn't be using them in your rotation anyways. Another cool thing to note is every single one of your skills has a 1200 range, meaning you can attack from really far away on everything. In the open world, you're going to want to stay far away simply because you're a pretty squishy little Mesmer. When you're in a group, make sure to stack, because otherwise your healers will hate you. Ask me how I know. Oh, my golem's going to die. No, golem, no! And just like that, he lived again. Over on the utilities! Woo! Over on the utilities, take Signet to the Ether. You're free to take whatever you want. Honestly, I find this the best just because of the regular healing it provides me and the decent healing I get when I use it. But honestly, feel free to use which one you want. I also take Blink, which is amazing. It adds a whole lot of mobility to this build. Another thing to consider. Because your range is so far and you have a Blink in this build where you can teleport super far away, give the melee DPS a little bit of a break. If everybody has to spread out for an AoE, please be the person to be nice and actually go away, because you can still do a lot of damage from way over here as you walk back. I also take Mantra of Pain because, well, it sounds cool. But also it's a great AoE and good single target damage. And then take Rain of Swords, again, because it sounds cool. I hope you guys know I'm joking about just taking things because it sounds cool. I actually take it because it's actually really good at doing damage and it makes it fun, but yeah. Rain of Swords is a targeted AoE, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It rains swords. Another thing to consider, this is stationary. I've wasted this so many times by putting it on the boss just for the boss to walk right out of it. So make sure you're using it in a phase where the boss isn't going to bounce around. That also goes for 1,000 cuts. This opens up a portal and you can point it anywhere you want and it just shoots blades out of it. You're going to want to aim this pretty carefully because otherwise, if I aim it over here, well, nothing over there. I just wasted all that damage. Make sure you aim it at the boss. Pretty cool. If you're looking for a rotation, my best advice to you, make sure you prioritize F1, F2 backup, CC when you need to CC because that's your job. But ultimately, this is a build that you kind of just click buttons when they're off cooldown. Which is kind of nice. It's not really a rotation. You're not going to need to click your 5s on either side, simply because that's just for CC. Doesn't really do a whole lot of damage anyways. So prioritize your 2, 3, 4 on both weapon sets. Keep these utilities on cooldown. Teleport when you need. And have fun. I'm going to link a recording to me doing a strike mission as DPS just so you guys can see it in action. But ultimately, if you like this, please click like. If you want to see more, please click subscribe. But until next time, guys, have fun.
We should finish this now.